Sacrifice this season of Lent. We approach God with a penitent spirit, asking for God's forgiveness and restored fellowship with Him. There are many things that we all need to atone for, to seek forgiveness for. But today God seeks to speak to us about an area that continues to plague many of us, yea, even those of us who are in the household of faith. Pride is defined in the American Heritage Dictionary as a sense of one's own dignity or value, self-respect, pleasure or satisfaction taken in one's work, achievements, or possessions. That's all right so far. But the definition goes on to say pride is an excessively high opinion of oneself. Another word for pride is conceit. It is to indulge in high self-esteem, to glory in self-indulgence. So pride has both positive and negative meanings. It is perfectly fine to be proud. What I really like to say is godly proud of something like your children or your accomplishments or your successes. But we always have to be careful, because it's also true that the first of the 7 deadly sins, one of the 7 things that God hates that we learned about in Proverbs 6 is pride. The scripture says there are 7 things God hates: a haughty or proud spirit, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked and evil schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension and division among brothers and sisters. Yes, there are some things that God hates, and pride is the first one. And whenever we see someone who has fallen, someone who falls from grace, someone who we may have thought had it all together, someone who might have presented themselves as having it all together, when we take a look at what preceded their fall, we will usually find the seed of pride. Ungodly pride is a demonic spirit, I believe, that attaches itself to any and everyone who leaves themselves open to it. Pride is like a disease, like a cancer, that starts small, but then it spreads quickly, and it infects the entire essence of our being. Pride, once birthed, takes on a life of its own, and then it begins to control you instead of you controlling it. And pride, not properly managed, left to its own and allowed to grow, can either kill you or seriously damage you. Pride always precedes a fall. Has any one of us ever gotten so haughty, so arrogant, so proud, so high on ourselves, so self-assured, so rebellious that we think we can't get caught doing what we're doing? That God isn't aware of who we are and where our head is? And before we knew it, we found ourselves falling from a lofty high position and maybe even going from being a hero to a goat. Some of us in here have experienced the damage of pride. But when we talk about the dangers of this spirit of pride, this demonic spirit of pride, we're not just talking about those who practice trickery and deceit in order to move into a high place, only to be brought low by their sense of pride. We're also talking about those who start off right, but then end up wrong. Those who have high expectations in the beginning, but who get sidetracked somewhere in the middle and who end up on the wrong side of the deal. Oh, pride has a way of infiltrating some of the best laid plans and infecting them to the place where they lose their vibrancy and lose their spirit, and they end up in the pile of discarded trash. The trash that's filled with good ideas gone bad. Yes, the writer of the Proverbs assures us that pride goes before destruction and a haughty or prideful spirit before a fall. King Uzziah